that step.
Over the hills, up the mountain, to the top, taking a step. No more spills from the fountain, we won't stop, taking a step. Over the moon, over the sun, we will continue to take that step. Over the moon, over the sun, we will continue to take that step. Made it this far, we have to keep on, no one will stop us, taking a step. Flying to that stop, singing our song, sweep away the dust, taking a step. Over the moon, over the sun, we will continue to take that step. Over the moon, over the sun, we will continue to take that step. Higher heights, moving on, stepping on, taking that step. Keep on, moving on, stepping on, taking that step. We will continue. We will continue to take that step. Over the moon, continue.
It's a blessing. Right check. How y'all doing? You know if you can hear me.
Feeling brand new, getting it done. We will continue taking that step.
All right, Kes on T. Maria J. Checking my aunt under the government cover. See you. Can't hide.
Over the hills.
Peace, brother Tim.
To the top, taking a step. No more spills.
Watch the net.
We won't stop, taking a step.
Brother Haru Chops up
Over
in.
the moon, over the sun.
All right,
we
good to
will
see y'all.
continue
It's
to
been a
take
minute.
that step.
Been a minute.
Over the sun, we will
Sanem
continue
Haru
to take that
on
step.
T.
Made it
Or
this
set
far,
new.
we have to keep on. No one will stop us, taking a step. Flying to that stop.
All right, brother El
singing our song,
Sharif.
sweep away
See
the
you.
dust,
Peace
taking
and
a
blessings.
step. Over the moon,
Belize
over
in the
sun,
house.
we will continue to take that step. Over the moon, over the sun, we will continue
Welcome,
to take
welcome.
that step. Higher heights, moving on, stepping on, taking that step. Keep on,
Ocean Lover. I'm with you on that.
stepping on, taking that step.
Brittany.
We will continue to take that step.
Yes, yes. Good to be here.
To take that step.
Okay, Angela, I see you. Got the glyphs up in the chat. How you did that?
Taking that step.
Basu. Lisa Collins. Welcome.
Taking that step.
All right, all right. Yeah, you know, I just want to hear that all day long. Lamar. Was Canoe. All right.
Over the hills, up the mountain, to the top, taking a step. No more spills.
So I'm envisioning that you're doing well.
Stop, taking a step. Over the sun.
Zahiruma, amen.
Continue to take that step.
That you're doing well
Over the sun.
in this crazy world.
Continue to take that step. Made it this
World's
far.
doing what it's
We
supposed
have
to do.
Keep on. No one will stop us, taking a step.
You know,
flying to that stop.
our
singing
ancestors said,
songs, sweep away the
this
dust,
world is not for
taking a
human
step.
beings.
Over the moon, over the sun.
You're stuck in your human nature. You're in trouble.
Take that step. Over
World
the moon, over the sun.
is the cauldron.
Higher heights,
Make you a divine being.
stepping on, taking that step.
Manifest your divinity.
Moving on, stepping on, taking that steps. We will continue. We will continue.
Well, frustrated DJ, you know. So what's happening, y'all? How you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. We're going to talk tonight briefly about 2024 coming up and our journal and our calendar, our Kamitic journal and calendar. And, you know, this is about the restoration of the Kamitic calendar. And it's a powerful thing. You know, I was listening to Dr. Ben the other day, the great Dr. Joseph Ben Buchanan, And he was talking about, you know, how do you know there's a God, right? Just questioning us, um, as a person who deals with evidence, as a person who deals with science, in the sense of being able to show evidence. And it's a very valid question, a very valid question. So the profundity, the profoundness of the Kamitic spiritual calendar, and I'm saying restored because this particular calendar was restored to us by the great Shechem or Shechem Ra'u Nefer Amen, the first. Uh, and many of you, I see your family, you're familiar with who I'm speaking of. If you're brand new, you're just checking out Kamitic astrology, Kamitic spirituality, you know, or maybe you've heard about it, but you know, you haven't had a chance to really apply the uh, the tradition to your life. Just put a one in the chat for me right now, so that we can know who we are speaking to. But this calendar that I'm talking to you about, you know, enables you to verify for your spiritual journey, your spiritual experience, and it's very profound. It gives you evidence, right? We know there's a difference between belief and knowledge, and you can't know something without evidence. You can believe, but you don't know without evidence. I'm going to share a story with you in a minute. Just one of thousands of stories that we've experienced over the course of, it's been over 40 years since we've been, looking at life through the eyes of this calendar. So welcome Stace and Tiffany, brother Tim and Bianca. So let's talk about this calendar and in its present form. It's come to you as a Kamitic meditation journal. Kamitic meditation journal. I think I got my slides out of order here. Here we go. This is a 2024 Kamitic meditation journal. This is a product of 40 years of experience, and it's a journal, and it's also a planner, in the sense that here we are coming up on 2024. And if you're like my person, you try to think about your year. You try to think about what has happened this past year, 2023. You try to think about what you need to improve, what you need to change, right? And you've heard, of course, if you fail a plan, you're planning to fail, right? So we all have to plan. And I don't know if any of you've been journaling and using planners before, and you got your Franklin Covey and all these other type of systems. And one of the things that is primary that all planners, besides this one, as far as I know, neglect, is that if you're going to sit here now and say, okay, in 2024, I'm going to do X, I'm going to change this, I'm going to add this to my life, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to improve my business, I'm going to elevate my career, I'm going to fix this relationship or change this relationship, right? Anything that you could write down or that you could imagine that's a goal that you want to achieve requires energy. It requires force. It requires power. It requires talent to do it. And talent is not enough. You got to be in the right mode or mood of energy, right? We say mood, in order to make something happen. How many of you can relate to that, right? You have the talent to do something, but you just couldn't get yourself together to do it, or you started it and you stopped, or you were faced with just all kinds of obstacles from other things that you didn't anticipate that came up. Can anybody relate to that? Put a yes in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. I know I'm not alone on that. There you go. Yep. Right. So, time and cycles is a critical factor. And this planner allows you to know ahead of time, right? What are going to be the forces, the underlying forces that can assist you, in the completion of your projects. Doesn't that make sense that if your success rides on certain manifestation waves of energy, that you would plan with that in mind, you would coordinate, you would want to sync your plan with the divine plan, so to speak, or the divine cycle. Makes sense. So that's what this planner and calendar is about. It's to bring together your mundane goals and accomplishments that you need, and the habits and behaviors that you need to bring to the table, with the natural gestational cycles of the year and the moon. Okay. And it goes hand in hand with the Mod 11 Laws Health, Wealth, and Success course. If you're not familiar with that, that's definitely something that you want to take a look at. You can find more information about that at Ma'at11laws.com, right? It's a on-demand course. It gives you all the mantras. It gives you the truisms, the affirmations, how to put the visualization script together. It teaches you how to meditate. It's a powerful course that we now have available, because meditation is the principal means to support the accomplishments of your goals. So let's talk about what makes this a Kamitic system. In the Kamitic, or the ancient Egyptian understanding of life, the one supreme being, who they call Neb or Chair, that's the Lord of all, administrates the world through 11 faculties of the Spirit, 11 faculties of the Holy Spirit that they call Ra. No, Ra is not the sun god. We did not worship the sun. We didn't build 90-something pyramids, give the world mathematics, science, medicine, civilization, elevate our women to the position that they deserve to be queens, kings, landowners, and have the longest lasting civilization documented on the face of the earth, and believe that the sun, the physical sun, was a god, right? Ra is not the sun. Ra is the metaphor for the life force, the creative power of the supreme being. You see? So Neber Chair manifests, the one supreme being manifests its majesty, its power to administrate and create the world and administrate the world through 11 faculties. And these faculties are what we refer to as the Neteru. And we say faculties because you have 11 spiritual faculties as well. You're made in the God likeness. And when I say faculty, think of something like your memory, right? Your memory is a faculty. What would happen to you if that faculty of memory just wasn't functioning well at all in your life, right? I'm not talking about the end of your life. I'm talking about, you're a young person and you need to learn, or how would you function on a job? How would you function a career? How would you function in a relationship if you couldn't rely on your memory? You see, that's a faculty that's responsible for your success. Well, you have 11 faculties, spiritual faculties, that are responsible. They're pre-programmed faculties to enable you to survive and thrive and excel in the world. And spirituality is about the development of these faculties. These faculties are powered by modes of energy that go through a cyclical fluctuation. They go through cycles, and probably the most immediate representation of them has to do with the sevenfold organization. Energy can be organized in different ways. The sevenfold organization that's kind of like in front of us all day long. What does this remind you of when you look at this? Sun, Moon, those are luminaries, right? The planets Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn. What does that remind you of? Anybody? Come on, talk to me. There you go. Planets, astrology. I want to show you how something powerful is hidden in plain sight. Your birth chart. Oh, you're cheating, Shechem. Zodiac. How about now? She said it, right? Have you ever asked the question, why did they name the days of the week after the planets? The womb, okay. I mean, hidden right in plain sight. You say, hey, we're going to meet on Wednesday. If you spoke Spanish, you'd say, we'll meet on miércoles. That's the day of Mercury. We're going to meet on Sunday. That's the sun's day. We're going to meet on Saturn's day. That's Saturday. Why would they name the days of the week after planets? Well, the reason is that this calendar, this organization of days, which goes all the way back to the ancient Egyptian civilization, is based on the understanding that each day of the week has a different type of energy. And in some cultures, you have what's called a day name. You're named after the day, or part of your name reflects the day of the week that you're born on, right? So, I think Ama is Saturday, right? Yes. Kweku is Wednesday in the tree language, right? Male child born on Wednesday and so on, right? So other cultures recognize that the day of the week stamps you with a particular type of energy because the different days of the week have an energy. Thank you, Tim. A bell went off, right? I mean, it's sitting right in front of us and we don't even see it. We don't even recognize it. But this knowledge has been preserved for over 3,000 years, right? There you go. To help us to understand that energy goes through these fluctuations and things will happen on different days according to the underlying energy state that those days are stamped with. So this is what we're talking about. Now, when we say the faculties are powered by these modes of energy, and the Neteru in Kemet, you see some of them here, Sebek, Oset, Heru, Tehuti, Seker, and so on, right? These are symbolic representations of the high expression of the faculties that are powered by these energy states. All right. So let's hold that thought for a minute. And now I want to share a story with you about one of them. Some of y'all heard this story. You got to bear with me because it's a good story. I still can't believe this happened, right? This is Het Heru, right? This is a depiction. This is a symbolic representation of the faculty within your spirit and in the spirit of God that manifests things in the world and things in your life of a Venusian nature, right? We could classify that under the planet Venus. It's not the same as Venusian energy, right? It's the high expression of Venusian energy. And in your planner, you'll get an understanding of these faculties. I'll just read a little bit of this to you. It says Heteru is a faculty of the imagination. The meaning behind the name Heteru, which is the house of the will, Heru, signals the spiritually aware of the power of creative visualization. That being that objects we seek in life will stoke our motivation and even psychically affect the people around us when they are housed in powerful visual images. That is an image that we can deeply enjoy in the meditation state. For our spiritual development, the most important image is that of our person functioning in a divine manner in the midst of the greatest challenges. Doing so confers healing and attracts wealth. Uplifting your Heteru faculty is a key component of the Kamitic meditation script, as explained in the meditation course. So the divine law of Heteru, for example, states that you are living the likeness of God when you use your imagination as a tool to transcend your lower nature and for the attainment of success as a divine being in the world, instead of relying primarily on material resources and using your imagination as a tool for sensual gratification. So every month you'll be alerted that, hey, Heteru cycle's coming. This energy is going to swell in the environment. It's going to swell within you, right? And this is the guidelines of how you can channel that energy to reach its highest expression, its most powerful expression. And you'll notice that spiritual function is self-generated joy that empowers your visualizations of success and your healing, the power to attract, and the cultivation of true happiness, right? Heteru. So Heteru cycle, I'm telling you a story here. It's a little bit long-winded, but you'll find out in your journal that you have a complete list of what we call spiritual signatures. Now, what does that mean? It means that these spiritual faculties or forces, right, they leave signs. They have a fingerprint. They have a DNA signature that they place, just like any other, force. So with Heteru, you'll see Venus, Libra, Taurus, multiples of 5, Friday, art, music, beauty, cosmetic, fashions, industry, friendship, pleasure, sweets, fruits, and then there's different fruits and colors and flowers. People who are artistic, charming, diplomatic, romantic, elegant, harmonious, social, tactful, pleasure-loving, artists, designers, right? Performers, diplomats, those in the beauty, fashion, and entertainment industry, and then the industries that it relates to. So what we're saying here is that for you to be successful, in these areas of your life, this faculty needs to be working on your behalf and not against you. But you'll know the presence of this faculty by the signatures that it throws up. So let me tell you a story now. So a few years ago, I was working as a salesperson in the insurance industry. And on a Friday, I was given a lead, right? When you call a commercial and ask you if you're interested in, life insurance and so on, if you have your burial expenses taken care of and what have you, what happens when you reply to that is a lead goes out to people like myself at that time. So this was on a Friday. Now, Heteru corresponds to Fridays. Her color is green, and her element is water. So I was given a lead to a Mr. Waters who resided at 5405 North Water Street. Pretty incredible, right? So now, again, we say there's a numerical correspondence to the signature of these different faculties that you have. Heteru's number is 5. So if you add 5 and 4, you get 9. And then you add 0, you get 9. You add another 5, you get what? 14. And you add 1 and 4, and you have 5. So we have a person here that lives on Water Street. And I think it even works with his phone number when you look it up. I shouldn't have his phone number on here. So anyway, I go to the door and I say, hey, I'm responding to your request about insurance. Hey, I noticed that your name is Waters and you're born on Water Street. You must be something else. They named the street after you. Ha, 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 make some small talk. And he said to me, you think that's interesting. Check this out. I'm in the water business. So this gentleman explained to me back at that time, which was many years ago, the importance of clean water and that there was actually a opportunity to be in the water business. So he actually gave me the website for the supplier of machinery for the business that he was employed at and gave me a contact person's name. Now, this person who I was to contact was a Mr. Thames. And Thames is what? The name of a river in England, right? It gets deeper. So I call Mr. Thames, I check it out, I get the price of the equipment. Of course, I go through my spiritual process, and I had been looking for something that I could do to enhance the community health and well-being, which I was into, and also generate some income. So here comes an opportunity just out of the green, you would say, not the blue. So, long story short, I made a decision to go into the water business based on these signs and what was coming to me in my meditation, divination, so on. So once I ordered the equipment, I was told by Mr. Thames, well, you're going to need somebody to put it all together. I happen to know a person in your area who could put the equipment together for you, install it, and get you started. And his name was Hudson. Like, yes, the Hudson River. Incredible, right? So again, long story short, I met with Hudson. He helped us to get our business started. He tested our water when we were done and serviced us. And we launched a company called New Waters, which is still Duanatere functioning today. This is a look at our 6-stage water purification system, right? And our filling station, where we supply the community with purified water. And we've generated a nice business income for ourselves, as well as provided a great service. And we happen to have a restaurant, the Now Cafe here in Philadelphia as well. And we are, one of the few restaurants that can boast that every bit of food that we make, every drink that we prepared is prepared in purified water. So what a win-win, wonderful blessing, right? We received. I wasn't looking for a business. It wasn't on my plan, of my planner for that year, but being trained in this knowledge of Kamitic spirituality and in tune with the communication that I was receiving, I was able to receive that blessing, right? Duanatere, huh? So your Kamitic journal gives you the schedule of these faculties and forces. So right now we are in the Heteru cycle. We're at the tail end. We're going into the Sebek cycle shortly, and that will be followed by Oset, by Heru, Sebek once again, Heteru, and so on throughout the year. So what this allows you to do is to know ahead of time, primarily so that you can synchronize your behavior. Because if I wasn't in the right mode, right, if I wasn't receptive, if I wasn't already living the law of Heteru, to a certain degree, then I might have missed all that, just went about my day, giving into, oh, I don't have any money, I don't know what I'm going to do, you know how we can get into those negative thoughts. I might have missed that and just been like, oh yeah, that's cool, but I could never do anything like that. No, I was like, wait a minute, Mr. Waters on the Water Street, the spirit is trying to tell me something, right? So this is what the Kamitic meditation calendar is about. So it gives you the cycles of the Netaru, and it gives you the the laws that you need to observe in order to harmonize your person with the Netaru, right? So that you can receive those blessings. All right, so let's pause for a second here. Thank you. So any questions so far? Anybody want to contribute? So, hey, any of you have any stories, any hair-raising stories about correspondences that you found to the calendar, right, from your experience? If so, type it into the chat. I can share with you, just recently that, this war that broke out in Palestine, this whole thing really got in motion in the cycle of Herukahuti. Herukahuti is the divine faculty that is powered by the energy we associate with Mars, right? Mars is a warrior, right? Mars is also associated with brutality, with cold-heartedness, and when you look at what's happening, you can see that expression. Now, that doesn't mean that Heru sanctioned or initiated this, right? It means that when that energy is present, it's going to express itself in a high way or a low way according to your level of spiritual development. The high road, Heru, the law of Heru, is, to seek the error within yourself, to pray for the transgressor, to seek justice and balance, in the service of Ma'at, and to importantly avoid vengeance, right? Vengeance. There's a difference between justice and vengeance. And what do we see in this situation? The actual assault, beginning of the assault on Gaza, which killed, tens of thousands of people now, started on the full moon in the cycle of Heru. So we see these signs, we see these energies playing themselves out in the world. This is how, we know that there is a spiritual base to what's going on in the world, but our goal, the challenge of life is how not to be controlled by the stars, right? By these psychical energies, but to control them, to manifest them in their highest expression, in harmony with all others. So, Antonio, you say it is about a higher self. Yes, the higher expression of these energies. So that's what the divine law guides you to. The higher expression, the highest expression. Just like electricity could be used to electrocute people. If you don't know the laws of electricity, it's very dangerous. It can kill you, it can burn you. But you can harness electricity and you can use it to heat your home, to cook your food, to light your house, right? It's a force, it's an energy. And the higher expression is one that maintains the harmony and peace. Peace. Sister Angela says, when does the Sebek season start? It starts on the 12th. My husband had a dream of alligators last night that woke him up at 5 a.m. Right. And where can I get a Destiny Purpose reading? I'll be purchasing my art course and 2024 journal calendar after this call. Wonderful. Where are you located, sister? Put that in the chat. And by the way, we have, for others that might have a question like that, let me see here if I have it here. We have a link tree right here. Okay, you can type that in, Linktree/Osarian, and that will tell you where our different locations are. By the way, spoiler alert, we will be in Brooklyn. Myself and Ra'u Neframen will be in Brooklyn on the 17th. That's a week from this coming Sunday, at Nicholas on Fulton Street. And we will be rolling out the Winter Solstice program. Some of you will get that information early next week, but on the 17th, we'll be rolling it out to the public in person. So you definitely want to be there if you are close to or in the New York area. We also have an opportunity to do some readings at that location. So that might be an answer to your question. If you're close by, we'll be doing some readings to help people with their spiritual reading for the year. And also showing the journal and the calendar and talking about the winter solstice. So that's next Sunday, the 17th of December. But you can always go to the Linktree/Osarian, and there you can find us in the different locations throughout the country. You can find our social media and websites to get in touch with somebody that can handle that for you. Yep, Sebek cycle starts on the 12th. Okay, you're down in Florida. Yes, we have a group down there. Do 3 Sebek cycles correspond to No, that has nothing to do with retrograde. And it's actually 2 in the year. Any plans to come to Brazil? Oh, falo português? Muito bem. Muito bom. I do plan to go to Brazil this year. That's very interesting. You put that up there. How do we ensure that we get the Winter Solstice program if you're in California or Texas? The Winter Solstice program will be available online. So make sure that you you're already on the Facebook page, so you're going to get notification there. And so you'll be made aware of that. We're expecting to have that roll out early next week. So look out for that. Where are you in Brazil? Okay, yeah. I want to go to Salvador. I have some people there. Excellent. All right, so let me show you a little bit more. Someone asked where they can get the calendar. So let me put that up for you. We actually have a bundle right now where you can get all three. You can get the calendar, you can get the journal, okay, and you can get the Ma'at 11 Laws of Health, Wealth, and Success course workbook, which gives you, guidance on Kamitic meditation. It goes along with our course. It gives you all the truisms. We say truisms, right? You can affirm something that's not true, right? So your affirmations need to be based on divine law. So it's got all the truisms in there, the mantras, the meditation, breath, and so on in the book. So you can get all three of these for $55 now. Just go to tiny URL Ultimate Bundle 11. Be a good idea to get that so you'll be in position for when you get your solstice information. You'll have, your journal. Some of you might be like electronic, like I don't write stuff down anymore. I'm kind of that way. I'm very electronically oriented, but there's something special about your spiritual work and journaling. In fact, a handwriting expert can look at your handwriting from different periods in your life or when you were going through different things and detect what your emotional state was. You know that, right? So there's something magical. We actually call it a book of charms because when you meditate, when you do your best to live the truth and speak to the Most High, and then you write down your revelations, your declarations, your commitment to do the right thing, there's a power to that. When you go back and you read that over after a few days or months or even a year later, that energy that you put into what you wrote down is still there. Right? It's a little different than typing something into your phone or your computer, and it's just, cold, dead, digital bytes. So yeah, I would definitely urge you to get into journaling and writing your goals down by hand. All right, so let's just go through a little bit more of what is in your journal and how you get started. So you have information on all of the faculties. You have all of the signatures so that you can know you can know the language to have this conversation in, right? My sister here asked me about going to Brazil. I've been studying Portuguese. That's one of my objectives. That was for this year. Yeah, we got to work. We're working on something for South Africa. So stay tuned to that. Okay. And yeah, because you go to a country and people are talking and you don't know what they're saying, right? So this is the same thing with spirituality. Like I mentioned that Dr. Ben story, you can't read the signs. You don't know the spirit is talking to you, if you don't know the language. So you'll get all of that information in your journal. Of course, when you plan your year this year, you want to start off by writing down your most important goal, which is your goal for growth, right? For spiritual growth. It's true that the main person that's in the way of your ultimate success is the one that you're looking at in the mirror every day, right? It's your person. We got to get our persons out of the way of our ultimate success. So where are you at in your life right now? What are your key readings if you're, into divination? or surahs or proverbs or scriptures. What at this point of your life would you use as your measuring stick for your growth, right? So you want to write that down and set those personal development goals. The next thing you want to look at is your relationships, because relationships is a critical area in our lives. What are the key readings and counsels you received, or the areas to focus on? What do you have to do to be a better mate, better parent, a better partner, a better, associate in an enterprise? Where is the personal development needed in order for you to improve the relationships in your life? And then you want to look at your health, right? What are your health goals for the year? So there's a section on that. And then that section is full of what we call, trackers, accountability trackers, because your health, and the objectives that you have, maybe you need to lower your A1C, or you need to lose weight, or you need to eat better. You're not eating enough nutritionally. Or maybe you're like a lot of us who have a closet full of supplements, and you forget to take them, right? You're like, wow, yeah, I bought this. I was supposed to be taking this. I was supposed to be taking that. So you want to take note of that at the beginning of this year, and then make a note of what are the habits that I need to establish to improve my health this year. You want to be on the offense when it comes to your health. Your health is going to be challenged by the toxins in the environment, and who knows what else might be coming up. So you want to restart positive health habits, and you do that by making a 21-day commitment and tracking it, holding yourself accountable. Get an accountability partner with this. That's what this form is for here. And then there's your money, your finances, whether you're doing great or you're, struggling, you need to pause. I'm suggesting you need to pause, and you need to take a look at where you are. What do your spending habits look like? Are you the kind of person that goes into the store and then comes out and says, wow, I didn't know, I didn't expect to spend that much? Is it because you're not operating with a budget? You're just buying on impulse? Maybe you need to reduce your spending, right? Or you're not saving aggressively enough. You're not paying yourself first, as they say. Live on 90% of what comes into your hand automatically. Take that first 10% out, and that's an expense of savings. So, put some numbers down, make some commitments as far as your financial growth. And then your year. What are you going to do this year? One thing the end of the year gives us is an understanding that it's gone, right? 2023 is over. You'll never get it back. We'll never get it back. We can't get back this, year that's passed, last year, the last 5 years. Those things are all gone. And when you look back and say, well, what did I really do this year to improve myself, right? How many hours did I spend, on YouTube? How many hours did I spend binge watching this and binge watching that? Did I do any binge development of myself? If I read a book every month, that's 12 books I would have read. If I went to a lecture, or I listened to a lecture every, twice a week, how much information would I have absorbed? How would I have improved myself? If I acquired a skill, worked at learning a language, worked at developing a skill over the last 12 months, where would that put me today versus where I am right now? So this is accountability time. So here in this part of the journal, you want to take these precious days of December, right? Especially going into the solstice, and you want to set some goals. What am I going to achieve this year? And what are the obstacles I need to overcome, right? My poor habits that I need to get rid of. So that's where you put that down. And these goals that you've analyzed are what's going to go into your meditation script. When we say Kamitic meditation journal, there's a scripting process, and the achievement of your goals, you'll learn as you study this, is in step 4, where you compose rich visualizations of the achievements of your goals. You should have a health and longevity goal, right? My health and longevity goal is a vision of myself at Planet Fitness or someplace like that, And to my left and my right are my grandchildren. And they're like 15 years older than they are now. I have a vision of what they're going to look like. And they're saying to me, come on, GT, keep up now, keep up. And I'm with them, right? I'm in the gym, and I'm not wearing them out, but I'm keeping up, right? Because I know what age I'll be. So that's my way of programming my spirit that I'm going to live that long, and I'm going to live in a certain degree of health, right? You know, there was a guy who had a very detailed, list of what he wanted to be able to do at age 100. You know, how much weight he wanted to be able to lift, so he could say, "Oh, I could pick up my grandchild, right? I could go up a flight of stairs, and I could do this, and I could do that." Put the powers of your spirit to work on achieving that goal. So that's what your this goal setting process needs to then translate into visual images that you can enjoy, right? To activate your life force, and it will attract to you the supplements, the herbs, the support systems, the people, everything you need to achieve that. It'll dynamize your life force to remind you, no, you need to stay away from those things, right? Because you're programming your spirit to work for that goal. So this is how we work the Kamitic meditation journal. And you'll notice there's a tracker on the bottom, and it starts in this case with the 12th, because that's the new moon of Sebek, right? December 12th. The line of least resistance to build a habit is to focus on that habit for 21 days straight. And the line of the greatest of least resistance is to start at the new moon and focus on it for 21 days, right? So this is for you to track that I started on the new moon and I did it 21 days in a row. And then this is what your lunar month looks like. So here in Sebek, we see the new moon's on the 12th, right? You might not be able to see that. It's kind of small here. But we also have power days. Sebek is Mercury. Mercury's Wednesdays. So if you're going to do a meditation, if you're going to hold a meeting, if you're going to have an event, and you want the abundance of that energy, because you know that energy is supporting your success, then you would plan it on a Wednesday, if it's conducive in Sebek cycle. And then there's hours too, planetary hours. So on your calendar, you'll have the 3 hours of the day that are the hours of Mercury. So you'll have that conjunction between the hour, the day, and the month of the year, where that energy is at its peak. Questions about the planner? All right. Do I do any binge development? Yes. What if one has unable to visualize? Okay, you put it into verbal form. So you would sit there, you would learn to meditate, right? Go into the meditation state. You can still go into the meditation state, and then you would seed yourself. You would tell yourself, I'm at Planet Fitness. I can smell the scent in the air, what it's like to be there, right? I can feel the treadmill or the bicycle or the elliptical. I'm holding the elliptical in my arms, right? You narrate to your person, right? And believe me, you may not get a technicolor vision, but it will be effective. Can readings for next year be done right now? Yes, you don't have to wait to do readings. You can do that anytime. And let's see, link for the bundle is on your screen. Yes, we have people in Texas. We have people Tennessee. And meditation CDs, we don't use CDs anymore. Meditation, all of the meditations are on our SoundWise platform. So it's available by subscription. You would get your course, your Ma'at 11 Laws course, right? And then you would have access to all the mantras on demand. And a little spoiler alert, this solstice is going to be very powerful. We're going to be dealing with the psychic chakras, which has not been done for the public in the past. So you definitely want to tune in to that. And there will be special, mantras given for that. Arizona, we need to get it going out there. All right. So yeah, this is how your calendar works. Your wall calendar is to give you information. You hang that on the wall. Your journal has this in it as well. So again, you get the information about the faculty, the law that you need to observe, the areas that faculty governs. Last thing I want to talk about here, which is a difference this year. I don't know if you can see this very well on your screen. Let me just grab mine. Last year's journal was, it's centered around, divination, which, if you're not familiar, it's a powerful part of our spiritual work. But a lot of folks don't have access to that. And a lot of people who have readings, they don't really have enough clear direction and understanding of how to work with those readings. So what we did this year was every month, every cycle, we give you a evaluation form for you to take a look at that faculty and how that faculty is operating within your spirit. So if you don't have a reading, all of these faculties apply to you, right? They apply to all of us, So this is going to be very helpful in guiding your meditation. Okay. And if you do have readings, this is going to help you to hone in more on the related details of what that reading is talking about. So let me just give you an example here. This is Sebek we're talking about. And on Sebek, we have the positive and the negative expressions of Mercury. So the positive expressions go like this: effective communication, articulate expression of thoughts and ideas, the ability to communicate clearly and concisely, analytical thinking, strong analytical and logical reasoning skills, capacity for critical thinking and problem solving, mathematical, technical, intellectual curiosity, a keen interest in acquiring information, a natural inclination to explore and learn new subjects, adaptability, quick learning, and adaptation to new environments, flexibility in adjusting and changing circumstances, versatility, multi-talented with a variety of skills and interests, persuasive skills, convincing and persuasive communication styles, diplomatic and effective at negotiation. Can you use any of these things? Definitely, right? Memory retention, strong retention and recall, capacity to absorb and retain vast amounts of information, expressive writing, proficiency in written communication, skillful expression through writing such as journalism, creative writing, detail-oriented, attention to detail. Oh man, don't we need that? They say the devil's in the detail. I learned that about business. Most businesses, if you have a successful business, after you pay all of your expenses, taxes, everything else, if you come away with 3%, you're doing good, right? So if you're blowing the details because you're not in touch with the details, you think you're making money and you're not. Side note, quick wit and humor, sharp and clever, sense of humor, ability to engage others with quick and intelligent repartee, business acumen, financial focus, technologically skilled, education oriented. So you understand what I'm talking about, a faculty. This is a part of your being that we all need. Now, what if this faculty is debited, if it's undeveloped, or it's somehow, malefic? Ineffective communication, difficulty expressing thoughts and ideas clearly. You can't communicate with certain, you say something, miscommunication and misunderstandings, confused thinking, lack of clarity in reasoning and decision making, tendency to get lost in the details, intellectual challenges, struggles in acquiring and retaining knowledge, difficulty grasping complex concepts, rigidity and inflexibility, poor memory, lack of persuasion, inability to influence and persuade others effectively, difficulty in negotiating and convincing, limited adaptability, communication problems, negatively critical and opinionated, argumentative, tendency to be misunderstood or misinterpreted, incoherent writing, deceptive communication, inclination towards lying, scheming or deception, manipulation of information for personal gain, short term thinking, easily rationalizing incorrectness. You know that one, right? Well, you know you're doing something wrong. I mean, deep down within, but the rationalization just pops up so easily, right? Short term ends justifies the means. You can see the positive and negative expression of this energy is, you know, will affect your life. So what does that mean? It means in the Sebek cycle, you're going to find challenges and opportunities will arise, right? And the greatest opportunity, of course, is to nurture this faculty because we all need each of these faculties, in the different areas of our life. So this is how you, i.e. Sebek, my homie, that's right. this is this is how you approach your contemplation of your person, of your behavior. You focus on what you can control, right? What's going to happen this year with this election, with this political situation, with inflation, with the economy, with racism, with all kind of challenges, the environment, the weather. Most of these things they're out of our reach. Individually, collectively, we need to do some things. But how you respond, how you adapt. People are worried about this AI invasion, and for good reason. A lot of jobs are going to be, no longer needed. But new opportunities will arise as well. So, how well do you adapt? How well do you deal with technology and change? These are things that come under the dominion of Sebek, of Mercury. So there's a saying in the book of Revelations, right, that at the end of end times, there's the tree of life, and this tree of life bears a fruit every month, right? And its leaves will be used for the nourishment and the healing of nations. This tree of life is the Paut Netaru that they're speaking about from way back ancient times, and the understanding that every month there's a fruit available for you. There's something for you to nourish on spiritually, and that's what this calendar has been restored to reveal to you. And how do you nourish? How do you eat from this tree of life? It's through not worship, it's through wordship, right? You chant the vibrational tone, the meditation to awaken that faculty within your spirit. And then most importantly, you live the divine law that allows for your life force to flow into the highest parts of your brain and spirit, to awaken this genius. This is the genii within you. And this is our understanding of how God blessed us, not by removing obstructions from us, not by, suspending law, but by making us in a divine likeness and giving us the powers, the solutions, the wisdom to address all of the problems that we're going to face on earth before we even got here. It's up to your spiritual culture to educate you as to how to eat this fruit and how to pick those leaves that are the medicine for your healing. So even before you have something that needs to be corrected or healed, that nectar has the medicine that you need. So I want to thank you for joining us. Anybody have anything else to say or questions before we jump off? And again, look out for your emails and your Facebook, your Instagram. We will be talking about the winter solstice early next week. Atukwe, what's going on? Brother West. All right, Sister Yasha, welcome. I'm saying sister. All right, peace and blessings, everyone. Enjoy your evening and go within. Put the holy back in the holidays, right? Spend this time in meditation, reflection, and preparation so that we can have a much better 2024.
We will continue to take that step. We're gonna have fun. We will continue to take that step. Feeling brand new, getting it done. We will continue to take that step. Taking a step. Taking a step. Taking a step. Take that step.
Over the hills, up the mountain, to the top, taking a step. No more spills from the fountain. We won't stop, taking a step. Over the moon, over the sun, we will continue to take that step. Over the moon, over the sun, we will continue to take that step. Made it this far, we have to keep on. No one will stop us, taking a step. Flying to that stop, singing our song. Sweep away the dust, taking a step. Over the moon, over the sun, we will continue to take that step. Over the moon, over the sun, we will continue to take that step. Higher heights, moving on, stepping on, taking that step. Keep on, moving on, stepping up, taking that steps. We will continue to take that step.
Over the moon,
continue.
We will continue to take that step. We're gonna have fun. We will continue to take that step. Feeling brand new, getting it done. We will continue to take that step. Taking a step.
Taking that step.
Taking a step. Take that step.
Over the hills, up the mountain, to the top, taking a step. No more spills from the fountain. We won't stop, taking a step. Over the moon, over the sun, we will continue to take that step. Over the moon, over the sun, we will continue to take that step. Made it this far, we have to keep on. No one will stop us, taking a step. Flying to that stop, singing our song. Sweep away the dust, taking a step. Over the moon, over the sun, we will continue to take that step. Over the moon, over the sun, we will continue to take that step. Higher heights, moving on, stepping on, taking that step. Keep on, moving on, stepping up, taking that steps. We will continue to take that step.
Over the moon,
continue.
We will continue to take that step. We're gonna have fun. We will continue to take that step. Feeling brand new, getting it done. We will continue to take that step. Taking a step.
Taking that step.
Taking a step. Take that step.
Over the hills, up the mountain, to the top, taking a step. No more spills from the fountain. We won't stop, taking a step. Over the moon, over the sun, we will continue to take that step. Over the moon, over the sun, we will continue to take that step. Made it this far, We have to keep on, no one will stop us. Taking a step, flying to that stop, singing our song, sweep away the dust, taking a step. Over the moon, over the sun, we will continue to take that step. Over the moon, over the sun, we will continue to take that step. Higher heights, moving on, stepping on, taking that step. Keep on, moving on, stepping up and taking that steps. We will continue to take that step.
Over the moon,
continue.
we will continue to take that step. Gonna have fun. We will continue to take that step. Feeling brand new, getting it done. We will continue to take that step. Taking a step.
Taking that step.
Taking a step. Take that step.
Over the hills, up the mountain, to the top, taking a step. No more spills from the fountain, we won't stop, taking a step. Over the moon, over the sun, we will continue to take that step. Over the moon,